All right, folks, success is the best revenge. That's the subject of tonight's riff. Now, Democrats may be licking their chops at the sham conviction of Donald Trump in Alvin Bragg's courtroom last week. Okay, lick away. But you may need some chapstick before long. What you have there in New York City is a highly conflicted, even rogue judge handing out judicially questionable or even make-up instructions to the jury. I don't blame the jury. I do blame the judge. The whole case was a sham, as Mr. Trump has correctly put it so many times. The likelihood of being overturned in the appeals process is very high. Now, moving on from this, we go to Wilmington, Delaware, where Hunter Biden, that's the president's son, in case you were confused, he's going on trial today for several gun violations, as David Spunt just reported. I don't want to belabor the point, but son Hunter could face up to 25 years imprisonment because, A, he lied about his addiction on federal gun forms, B, he lied to the licensed firearm dealer about his addiction, and C, he was illegally in possession of a firearm. Hunter's also going to face a tax evasion charge in Los Angeles. That's later this summer in September, not so far from the election. And by the by, lest I forget, Hunter owes his ex-wife about $3 million in alimony. Just thought I'd add that. Meanwhile, important point in Delaware. Judge Noreka is a Trump appointee, by the way. So she's the one who blew up the original plea deal with prosecutor David Weiss, who still has some splaining to do for his strategic procrastination. That, according to our friend Andrew McCarthy. And speaking of Trump appointees, remember that Judge Eileen Cannon, who will preside over the classified documents in South Florida, is also a Trump appointee and seems to be adhering to the strict letter of the law. So my point here is, as shameful as the Bragg case in New York, there is still hope for our justice system. That is, if we elect a president who will carry out justice in a neutral way, consistent with the Constitution and the rule of law as Americans used to know it before Biden. Regrettably, the entire American justice system has suffered a mighty blow of confidence because of what happened in that Bragg courtroom. But what was once the greatest system in the world, the very bedrock of our free market capitalist system, can be restored. Which brings me to an important statement by Mr. Trump just yesterday on the Fox and Friends weekend show. He told the viewers, and I will quote, "People also say, can you bring the country together?" And the answer is yes. Success will bring the country together. The country was doing better than it had ever done, and we're going back to the same policies and then some. You know, my revenge will be success, and I mean that. End quote. From Mr. Trump. The definition of success here is crucial. Knowing Mr. Trump as I do, he's talking about rejuvenating the economy with tax cuts and deregulation, opening the oil and gas spigots to reduce energy prices, food and gasoline, and overall inflation, tax cuts to help the middle-class wage earners, and closing the border and ending that Biden catastrophe. And yes, success means restoring the greatest and fairest judicial system in the world. So, caveat emptor, Biden Democrats, don't lick those chops too often.